Let your verdict give us the answer.
How easy was it for you, or how difficult was it for you, given the fact that your father was already an established senior lawyer?
The thing is this, when my elder brother Mohan, declined to take up law, he used to joke saying, I didn't become a lawyer because if I really made it as a lawyer, people would say that what's so great about it is VP Raman's son, and God forbid if I failed, they would say, despite that background, he failed. So sad. So it's a no-win situation. So I think I'll keep away from law and get into something on my own. That's a point of view. True. And I could have been swayed by that logic as well, but I just for myself decided that I will become a lawyer, and whether I am compared to my father or not, I'd like to make a name for myself, and for that I think I should state here that my two biggest inspirations were Mr. Parasaran and Mr. K.K. Venugopal, both of whom are sons of extremely illustrious lawyers themselves. Mr. Parasaran's father is the legendary Kesava Iyengar, and Mr. K.K. Venugopal's father was the famous M.K. Nambiar. Despite that being sons of very illustrious lawyers, they became the best lawyers of the country. So I said, if that's the inspiration that I want, I think I should take a jump at law as well. So I joined the law college. My father was not too thrilled about my entering law as a profession, because he was not too sure whether it's a line which had any great future in it. Curiously enough, he was in a way getting a bit disillusioned with law. And he pushed me and said, after you finish your law, maybe you should do like your brother an MBA or something and couple it and get into maybe some business or something like that. And then when I started this mooting, and when I went to Philip Jessup, Washington, and I won the semi-final rounds, and we got into the final rounds and came international third. I had an open aid offer from several US universities to do my further postgraduate courses in law there, and I was almost inclined to accept them. I called up my father. Those were the days when there was no international subscriber dialing or cell phones. So I booked a call from Washington and got through to him and told him about the results of the moot court and the offer I had got, because particularly from a very leading law school in US, the dean of their international law faculty was the judge who judged our round of mooting, and he was very impressed with me, and he said, I want you to come and do your further studies here. When I brought it up with my father, I was almost sure he's going to say, go ahead, get into academics, something like that. But I was pleasantly surprised when he told me, you can continue your gallivanting in USA after you make your money as a lawyer. I've got a law office in Madras which needs you, take the next flight and get back. That was the first time he actually told me, I'm waiting for you to come back to the office and start working with me, and that gave me such a boost, and I got back to India and joined his law office.
You mentioned disillusionment with your father, with the practice. Why do you think that set in?
I think in his case what had happened was, it was not a disillusionment as much as with the profession as with his own future. Okay. In retrospect, I think having been the Additional Solicitor General of India between 1975 and 77 during the emergency times, and having been in the center of activity of law all over India. In fact, he had the unfortunate job of having to defend the government of India in the ADM Jabalpur versus Shivkant Shukla or habeas corpus case. People who are his contemporaries and colleagues who have met me thereafter, even people like Mr. Nariman, Mr. Sorabji, who are all the doyens of the bar then in Delhi, have mentioned to me that when he was doing the ADM Jabalpur case also, he had really impressed people in Delhi on the way he was carrying on his work. And they felt that he did something wrong in accepting the Advocate Generalship of the state and coming down to Madras in 77. So by 80-81, when I was getting into law college, he was hardly 50, and he's been there, done that. I don't know whether he didn't have anything to look forward to in his life in the field of law. Maybe he should have at that time jumped the gun and gone back to Delhi. That would have given him a burst of energy in wanting to practice. Having continued to remain in Chennai, I think possibly a little bit of a disillusionment. It was not, that's why I said it's not a disillusionment over the profession or the judiciary or the judicial system as much as with himself. Then what happened was my getting into the profession in 1983-84 got a spark back in him. So he actually had a substance abuse problem which he got over, and he was back very healthy, looking forward to working with me, and we had first few years in the 83-84 almost through to 88-89 when he enjoyed reasonably good health. We had a very fine time in the Madras High Court, and I learnt a lot of things from him. And I think the most important thing I learned from him was the importance of professional ethics. That is something which has got to be learnt, and that is something which you also got to have a passion over. So that is one thing if you have lost, I think it's something lost forever. Anything else you can pick up, but that's something I owe to him. And I've like that learned several aspects of law from
Let your verdict give us the answer.